Okay, so I wanted to initially read on why we're stuck. See, look, one already jumped out. Okay. I initially wanted to read on why we're stuck, but I just started getting that what we need to talk about is where do we go from here? Like right now, we are in such a such a funny place, man. We're in such a funny place. And so I got the message to read on where do we go from here? And I always ask for a tone to set the tone to the reading. I am fairly new to tarot, by the way. I mean, I've had tarot cards for a while, but I've never actually like paid attention to them. But I am doing so now as I lean into my own gifts, lean into my own spirit. Hey, y'all. Look at y'all up at 4 o'clock in the morning with me. Yes. It is Monday, May 26th. So we are getting the Monday message for the collective. Trying to see if there's any more for the tone setters here. So again, we are in this situation of life that it's just a weird one. Whether you're in America or you're elsewhere, we're at a crossroads. We're at a serious crossroads of life right now. And so many people are feeling helpless or hopeless, or I'm not reading all those. Man, on my YouTube channel, I got a 2.5 hour reading. I'm not reading all those, so I need you to be a little bit more clear. Thank you. I'm not reading all those. That was, listen. Mm-mm. No, no. I need to be clear. I need to have a clear message. All right. So are we done with setting the tone? Are we done with setting the tone? It's been such a weird year already. Um, but it's like I'm feeling goosebumps, so I am where I need to be. So are we done? Okay. So to set the tone. All right, so to set the tone, we got these three cards. Hold them up for you, and then I'm on my YouTube channel. So, all right, the three cards that hopped out in order for us to set the tone of this reading before we actually get into it. Again, the question, the message, the the theme of what we're going to talk about this morning, I guess, is where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Because we are at a crossroads. We're at a crossroads in life, in America, in the world, in our own lives. Like, unfortunately, we can't just pay attention to one thing. We have a whole life to live. So we are currently at a crossroad. I do read reversals. So we are going to look at that. And again, as we're setting the tone, the first card that popped out was the Two of Cups. And so I use teaching cards because again, I'm not crazy good at all about tarot cards. Like this is a new thing to me. I'm using it as a tool to help with my intuitive gifts so that I can see what I'm seeing outside of me. I don't know if that makes any sense to y'all. Um, but it's really easy to gaslight yourself, to pretend like you don't have any gifts, to think you're the one who's doing the thinking, or like you're just seeing something just because, or it's just a random thing. But there are many people like me who are more right than we're wrong. And so it's time that we stop gaslighting ourselves. And so what really helps me to not do that is to essentially see my thoughts out loud. And hence that's going to be right now in this season of my life, through seeing the visuals of tarot cards. So I do a little special thing here, and I don't know. People will have whatever they have to say about it, but I read the cards first, and then I allow ChatGPT, which is programmed on all the rules and all the traditions of these cards, because these are based off of the Rider-Waite-Smith cards. I use ChatGPT to help me take this further. All right, so the first card that popped out while we're talking about where do we go from here? And initially, as soon as I saw it, I kind of got like this good feeling. I got like a really good feeling because the first card, like I said, I use a teaching deck. The first card that I got was the Two of Cups. I don't know if you guys can see that very well. And I also read intuitively, guys. So if you are a expert at tarot, you might not want to hang out with me. Because I'm not trying to be an expert at tarot. So I do go off of the pictures and I also go off of what we're talking about. And so again, the theme of what we're talking about is um, where do we go from here? So the tarot card, what I like about these particular cards is that they have questions and themes on them. And so the question of this card is there a mutual love or understanding in a relationship? Which I thought was an interesting card because I'm like, what the hell? We're talking about where do we go from here, as in the shit show that's happening in this world, but more specifically in the US. So why is this card coming out? Especially because these words are partnership, harmony. Like that's what these words are. Partnership, harmony, mutual attraction, balance. Um, and that the statement on this card is love is not only something you feel, it is something you do, which I'm trying to feel into this because I feel like I'm getting a message and it's not exactly what this card actually means. So, as I look at this particular card, there are two people holding cups, and each one is holding the cup, right? They are both holding a cup, but above that cup is some weird ass symbol. And for me, that symbol is looking kind of devilish. Um, because it's got a lion's face, but it has more like this impish lion's face, right? Y'all see that? Like it is crazy. Um, and then we have a person in blue, and then we have a person in yellow. And so one of the things that I do, being that I'm ADHD, is I tend to try to rationalize things. Um, Even with my own spirit and my own intuition. Y'all let me know if you have that kind of problem in the comments. But like, I'm like, that can't be it. That can't be what I'm looking at. That can't be what I'm talking about. But the thing is, I feel like over us is this devilish thing. And rationally, I want to go, then why isn't the other person red, right? Because so far it seemed like this was a two-sided fight, right? It seemed like this was a two-sided fight of what we're dealing with in the US. So why isn't one blue and why isn't one red? Why is one yellow with spots? and and they seem to come from two different places. Like one comes from a more traditionally Greek type of thing, and another one seems to be coming from something cavemanish. So I'm like, what the heck? That doesn't make sense to me. But the red is the devil here. And I'm using devil and I'm using it very loosely, but in representation of the evil, of the grifting, of the greed, the avarice, the covetousness, the jealousy, the stealing, all those things that we have going on that have been made norm in our highest offices. But let's be freaking for real. They've been made norm in our lives. Okay? The grifting isn't just Trump, I'm sorry. It's not just him. We've been doing that as human beings, especially in America. Like you don't get to go to the office this way, in a place that is good, and in a place that is just, in a place that is benevolent. You don't get to ascend to the highest office as this evil human being in a place that was on the right track in the first place, right? So a person like him and the people behind him, because I never believe that he's just the loudmouth. He's the loudmouth. He's the distraction. He is, can we say prostitute? He, he is, I don't know what words I can say on this, but he's for sale, okay? Like he's the person who's for sale, which is really sad to be that way at 78, 79, however old you are. It's really sad to me because you're gonna die soon. Like, even if soon is 10 years, it's like, dude, your body doesn't even work right for you to like really, really enjoy this. So I'm trying to figure out who this yellow person is. And to be perfectly honest, this person feels new. This person feels like something new. And I wanted to say it's like a past, right? Because like I was thinking caveman, cavemen are wearing like animal outfits or what have you. So I wanted to say that this is, past and future and present, right? I wanted to say that. And it doesn't feel right to say. Now that said, oh, okay, 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 okay. Upon looking at this card closer, this person in yellow, this person with this animal print. Oh, okay. This person holding the other cup and at the same time reaching for the other person's cup. That's crazy. That's wild. And I think that's the problem. Um, that's correction. This isn't the new. This is our base. This is who we are at the core. Um, And it feels like we're letting our shadow lead. We're letting our shadow be above us. Because, like I said, America couldn't get here without America already being here herself. So, that evilish spirit on top feels like the shadow that we need to confront. It's the one that we're living under. And the guy in the yellow, he has a red crown. And so, what that signified to me, and I'm trying to see if that's correct, but what that signified to me is that if actually it feels like a new party. It really does. It feels like a new party made of the old. It feels like a new I looked at this wrong. Y'all, if you look at this card, it's not him taking the cup. It's him giving one back to yeah. That's a new party. That's a new party. Okay. So, we need to find a way. That's what we need. We need to find a way to find partnership, to find harmony, to find mutual attraction, meaning like um, liking each other again. Because at one point, Republicans and Democrats and all of this stuff in between, um, we could say things like, oh, we could disagree just to disagree. Like, we could say that. I don't know what a flash goal is, but thank you. Um, we could definitely say something like that, I guess. I don't know what that is, y'all, whatever. It doesn't matter. Uh, but we can't say that now. We can't say that it's just a difference of opinion. We can't just say that it's just politics. Now it really is, it's a difference of values. It's a difference between morality. And so what I'm seeing here then is that this is a new party made of the old. So if you see that guy in yellow has a red crown. So yes, it's still going to be out of like Republican ideologies or whatever, but it's still something new. And I have actually been maintaining myself. I have actually been saying that within the Republican Party is two parties. There are the Trumplicans and then there are actual Republicans. And this is going to be, oh, yeah. So that's going to be like starting from scratch. And then on top of that, if you notice, he still seems to be more advanced in dress, even though he's wearing like this beast type of outfit. So on one hand, it looked like it was a prehistoric type of thing, at least how we think of it in in our modern times of what prehistoric things were. But he's wearing tights and he's wearing shoes and he's wearing he's dressed pretty forward. So this feels like, and it's really close. It's really close in time, but it feels like people are going to emerge from the cover, the mantle of the other party and actually stand up and be their own selves. and again, share the cup with us again. That's what it's going to require. Okay. So, the other thing that is standing over the tone of this reading is that we do have the world in reverse, which is pretty cool. Why is it cool? Because it says incompletion, lack of closure, unfulfilled desires, and disconnection. Now, the statement on here is how can you see the interconnectedness of all things in your life? But it's turned over, right? And interestingly enough, the world card is winter, and winter is symbolic for dying. um, yeah, and hibernation and stuff like that. So it's upside down. I can't really show this card on YouTube because she has her boobies out. And I don't know if I can show it on TikTok, but it's the world card. And the statement here is we are all connected and everything is possible. Sometimes the cycle needs to end to start a new one, which makes great sense, except we are in reverse. And being that we're in reverse, what that means is that we're incomplete. There's nothing completed. And this is absolutely true. We have promises that have been unfulfilled. Um, Not just in, the civil rights era, but also just in the pull yourself up by the bootstraps, the you can be whatever you want to be, the land of milk and honey, land of opportunity that America was supposed to be. It just never fulfilled that promise for its own people. Do people ascend the ladder? Sure they do. But again, uh, it doesn't really happen a lot of the times without being the type of people who would allow this to happen in this world. So that's standing over us. So what is required right now in order for us to get where we want to go is to have this partnership, is to come together, is to find mutual attraction, is to also have balance. But for what I'm picking up intuitively, that is also going to require people who are in the Republican camp to stand up and pull out of from under the haze of which they are, because our shadow is overhead, and the wings of that shadow cover both of us, right? So it covers the white right wing and left wing, and I don't say that in a political way. I say that in that, like, that bird thing that people always use, the bird metaphor, because birds need both wings to fly, and our symbol just happens to be an eagle. So it just makes sense. And the other thing too, just to go real quick back to that Two of Cups card, is that it also has that medical symbol, the one with the snakes. But here, what I'm getting from this, oh my gosh. First of all, okay, I really hate to say this out loud, but I'm gonna say it. Um, because it has the Roman numeral 2 symbol over the evil thingy, right? This Roman numeral 2 looks just like the Gemini symbol. Just like the Gemini symbol. Okay. So if you see it right over the head, looks just like the Gemini symbol. Well, that guy is a Gemini. Um, that's fun. But the other thing is, like, even though it's a medical symbol, it looks like it's also giving off to me that there are other snakes in this garden. There are other snakes intertwined, and those are the things that are above us. But again, we can't be this country without having created it in the first place. So then we have the King of Wands, and the question here is, how can you use your vision and leadership skills to achieve your goal? And this is truly what the question is. The question is for us, how can we move forward? Like, where do we go from here is the overarching question. Where do we go from here? And so it says here that you are a natural born leader with a vision for the future. So these words are going to be leadership, vision, entrepreneurship, passion, confidence. So those are the words that are coming off of that card. And what I'm getting intuitively is that these are the gifts we need to tap into. We need to tap into the quote unquote American spirit. Um, we're fighters. we've always been fighters. And I'm saying we because it's collective. We've always been fighters. And as fighters, through so many different things, like as Americans, we have fought a heck of a lot of things. Like, trust me, we got some skeletons. We got whole graveyards in our closet. Um, and I say we, I'm gonna keep saying we here. hmm As the umbrella of America, we have so many skeletons in our closet, but at the same time, we've overcome a lot of shit. Like we've overcome a lot. And it's always a matter of leadership because yes, we do have to have people who emerge as leaders, but at the same time, you still have to have that in you to be led, one, but also to be a leader in your own life in your own way, to not give up because giving up is super easy. It's really easy. Even though it's hard, let me put it that way. It's a hard thing to do, but it's the easiest thing to do because you never have to worry about the outcome beyond the moment, right? Um, but the thing about the king is the king is sitting in on the throne, right? And what I love about this is you have the king on the throne, and that throne has that lion's face in it, right? And it looks gaudy, it looks scary, but it has the lion's face in it. And I don't know if I can get the glare going, but the what I just got intuitively is that all that shit's behind him. All of it is behind him. So he's like literally sitting on it. He's like, whatever, it's over, it's behind me. And he's looking forward, and the wand that he has in his hand is actually a big stick. You know, they say what walk softly but carry a big stick sort of thing. And this stick has like leaves on it. It's going to grow. It has the potential of growing. And in fact, he has it kind of like put into the ground. So it's like planting his flag in a way. And so it's going to grow. And the other thing too is like, even though we have natural leaders, it's also telling me that there are leaders that are going to emerge. And I also see like this little lizard companion on the platform with him. And so that lets me know I'm not calling us lizards. But it lets me know that the people are going to be part of it too, because the people are on that platform as well. The people are also looking in that direction. The people are also looking as regal as a lizard could possibly look. And so it just feels to me like what this actually doesn't feel like negative. And I was really expecting some negative energy here. Um, because, and I need to write this down because we're going to use chat in a little bit. Um, but it doesn't feel negative. It really doesn't feel negative to me at all. And that I'm happy to know and I'm surprised to know. So we have again the Two of Cups, we have the World in reverse, and we have the King of Wands. And these are our tone setters for the read. So what am I gonna do? Um, what just popped in my head to do is to do a spread on the dreams. And I think that makes so much sense. And I'm getting goosebumps, so I know that's the way to go. It makes so much sense to me to do the reading dream. And so this is the book that I'm going to be looking at to use a link to look at. And so this is a book by Tina Gong. And so we're going to look at it and we're going to go to her dream spread. That just makes so much sense to me because I've been sitting here like for an hour trying to figure out what am I going to read. And I know I can't go to bed until it's done because I've been called to do this. So it's a dream interpretation. So she has spiritual spreads on her in her book, and it's a 5 card draw. Thank you, girl. Because listen, these readings get long because spirit talking. All right, I'm gonna put the tone setters back into the deck and let them work their magic. Not magic. I don't believe in magic, but we're gonna let spirit do some talking. Meanwhile, hey y'all. Those were pretty good tone setters. Let me while I'm shuffling, I'm gonna talk to chat and see if chat has similar. Because, like I said, I don't know meanings of cards, like these deep, deep, deep meanings of cards. Like, oh, wands are about this and cups are about that. Okay, so this is how I talk to chat, y'all. This is gonna help some people who need help with this too. All right, here's my prompt. Hey chat, so I need you to be a tarot card reading specialist. I am currently getting ready to read a do a reading for a collective. But before that, I pulled, or before that, I had some jumpers to set the tone of the reading. Now, the question that we are reading on is, where do we go from here? Like, where do we go from this moment? And the context of this moment is, um, I want to say our political landscape, but it's bigger than that, especially in America, for 2025. We're at a crossroads. We're looking at the demise of our country. We're looking at hopelessness, helplessness, panic, anxiety. We are feeling all the things, especially just given astrologically what kind of life we're in sitting here on May 26, 2025. So the question here is, where do we go from here as a people? Like, what is it that we're supposed to be doing to keep putting one foot forward in front of each other, in front of the other every single day? And so I want your perspective on this reading. I've read it intuitively, but this is the way that these three cards that hopped out, that jumped out, are our tone setters, and they are the Two of Cups, the World reversed, and the King of Wands. Can you give me some insight on how you think that answers or sets the tone for the question that we're getting ready to read on? All right. So I don't know if y'all were expecting some genius prompt, but I am certified in prompt engineering, but it is 4 o'clock in the morning, y'all, over here in Miami. So we're gonna get some reading here. So we're gonna share my phone. So this is what ChatGPT had to say here. Let's approach this from both a grounded tarot perspective and a spiritually attuned collective lens, especially considering the gravity of your question. Where do we go from here? In a time of instability, emotional exhaustion, and existential crossroad. I like the summary of that. All right. Let me make sure it did not say something different. Okay. It did. It did. But let me see. All right. So it says here, this tone setting pull makes so much sense for the kind of collective message you are likely to deliver: spiritual, direct, ancestral, and no fluff. You're not just holding space, you're inviting people into accountability and forward movement. Here's how I tighten and reframe that reading in your voice for delivery. I ain't actually do all that. No, it created a whole script. It always creates scripts for me. So let me do this. I'm going to go back to the initial. All right. So then we have, so Two of Cups. This is what it says. So Two of Cups, the soul agreement and interpersonal reckoning. I continue to shuffle while I read because when I have questions, they jump out just in case. Anyway, so the Two of Cups, the soul agreement, and interpersonal reckoning. Who and what? The Two of Cups here isn't just about romantic unions or partnerships, it's about sacred contracts, agreements between people, communities, and even spiritual forces. It's an invitation back into right relationship, not only with one another, but also with the self, the land, the ancestors, and our divine call. Why this matters now. This card reminds us that healing doesn't start at the system, it starts with mirrored humanity. When we feel powerless in the face of national collapse or corrupted leadership, I ain't say all that, chat did. um, who are we still willing to see face to face, heart to heart? This solution begins in honest mutual exchanges, whether that's community support, reparative work, or spiritual accountability. The tone it sets. You're being asked to start with this reading, to start this reading with the acknowledgement that we are not meant to walk this road alone. Connection is the first resistance. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. Let me say that particular line one more time. Connection is the first resistance. We're not out here alone. We're not meant to be out here alone. Connection is the first resistance, which is why, like, I felt like I had to read on this because, and that it had to be a collective reading because that's what's necessary. Like, we have to be together in this. And so the world reverse, the cycle is not complete. This is the big card in the spread. It brings a collective karmic weight. The world reverse indicates unfinished business, interrupted progress, and lessons we refuse to learn. It signals a false sense of arrival or the delusion that we're past the worst, but we're not. We're circling the same cycles, particularly ones tied to imperialism, white supremacy, environmental abuse, and spiritual disconnection. So why does this matter now? We're in false ending, a moment where things could change, but only if we stop pretending we've already done the work. This card challenges America's ideas of itself. It says, the world you built is crumbling because it was never just. It was never whole. So this card offers a reality check. You're not done. You've skipped steps. And if we want to get out of this cycle, we need truth, humility, and a commitment to close the loop this time. Amen. And so the third card, the King of Wands, is about vision, audacity, and action. This king represents mature fire, strategic, bold leadership that sees far and acts with conviction. But it also asks us, who's holding the vision right now? Are they ready? Or are they performing? So in a shadow read, the King of Wands could represent performative masculinity, ego-driven leadership, or action without alignment. In light, it's the energy of spiritual warriors, elders who've done their shadow work, or leaders who are grounded in mission rather than image. So why this card matters now. This card is a challenge to rise, but not through grind culture or saviorism. It asks, are you willing to be the fire that lights the path, not the one that burns it down? So this is the charge. After the grief of the Two of Cups and the harsh truth of the world reverse, the King of Wands says, get clear, get loud, get moving, but lead from spirit, not performance. So pulling it all together, these three jumpers form a call, confrontation, and commission. Start small and sacred, the Two of Cups, which means repair human to human relationships. Honor your communities and spiritual contracts. Stop lying to yourself. That's the world reverse. We're not at the end. We're not healed. And we won't be unless we face what we've avoided. And 3, step up but stay aligned. King of Wands. Take action with vision, not ego. Channel your rage into righteous fire that warms and leads, not scorches and divides. So how this sets the tone for the reading? You're not reading from a place of fear. You're reading from a place of holy confrontation. This deck is telling you this isn't the end. You aren't powerless. But if you keep trying to skip the connection and rush into solutions, you'll keep recycling suffering. So now, as you open the full spread, listen for what relationships need healing, what truth must be faced to end the cycle, where is righteous spirit-led leadership rising or being called into formation? All right. So we're going to stop right there. We're going to stop that share. Now, just like with the last reading, it got a little long. So we're going to chop this up into parts and we're ending part 1 right here. What we're going to do next is we're going to get into the dream, baby. And that you want to stick around for. But before you go, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel because every Monday there will be a Monday message for the collective as well as some other goodies throughout the week. And on top of that, you don't want to miss this. I will be selecting one of my subscribers to have a free reading when I get to 100 subscribers. Every benchmark is going to be a new gift, a new thing, and I can't wait to actually meet you guys as we build community here on Lean into the Spirit. And while you're here, go ahead and slide on down into the description and click to grab your 5-day spirit reset so that you can come back home to you and create the life that you really want from this point forward. See you in the next video.